Hello, Tom here, just working on getting the cars to leave this level via surfboards. And this is a quick one today. I've had a lot of classes this week, which has kind of messed up my schedule, or changed it. But let's dive in. So basically, cars can get into this level by a surfboard, but they can't leave. And I'm trying to make it so there's a bit of time pressure in each round, and we'll see if we can do that today. Only have about an hour and a half. Should be a neat challenge. Okay, so I think though we did have a couple neat things. There's now, thanks to Antonio, a Carpoon sticker. And I can hand these out at events. Thank you, Antonio. I should have seen about getting the cut around the edges. That's something I can look into next time. And yeah, I had a neat play test event last week, so it didn't crash. Well, it did crash in one regards where with the input plugin, if I compiled through native compiling in GameMaker and have Steam input enabled for Xbox and Steam, with Steamworks, it will crash. So that's something I'll look into. Anyway, we're gonna see if cars can flee in, I guess, this level, because currently it's just in Park and Panic. And once I find that, I'll probably use this surfboard in the map to choose where they can go. This is a different time than usual, but mostly I didn't want to miss a week. Wow, is this search still going? Nope, it's good. It's done. Great. I have code to check what the if it's the Volcarnage Island level, but there's two different versions of it, so I'll just write in the level name, which is B. That Mario 3 stream, I think it was last week. That was a lot of fun. Did take a lot out of me the next day, though, because of maybe not drinking or eating enough during during it. Yeah, but it was nice. Now I can say I've beaten Mario 3, every world, every level without using a whistle. I know definitively I've done that. Okay, so enemy cars will flee now. We want to. I'll turn back on a little sort of. It's like a clock, but a pie chart thing at the top. That'll help show when they're actually supposed to be doing stuff. This is back to the car. Where else we'll go? So this, I'll get rid of this for now. I'll duplicate this line. Very handy commands that I learned during a game jam. We'll get rid of this so it can be anywhere. Now, okay, so I was working on AutoWorks, but I was like, I can't visualize that right now. I can visualize trying to get surfing working. Check if okay. Now, instead of this point to go for, we'll check what the surfboard is and go to that. No, but the event last week is really neat to run into the creator of Drag and Drop, Anthony. Seeing the game in Paperverse a few years ago, and he had sent me a sticker, and then just to be setting up right beside them. That was funny. Small world. 'Cause I had no idea they would be there. Yeah, so the world, despite being huge, I guess if you have similar interests with people, that helps. I'd say it's a game event. A lot of people end up in Japan. Like maybe if it was Europe, it'd be a similar chance. And yeah, you never know who you run into. I think like sometimes back in the family cabin, we'll run into people out of the blue there, but you have to consider that's like 6 hours from Vancouver, so it's like a pretty decent chance to run into somebody. Okay. So we'll have him go for this surfboard stand. Eventually I want the surfboards to drop down, but we'll try this for now. And other than that, I got my Switch 2 situation in hand. I won't have it day one, but I'll have one. That'll be nice for Mario Kart. Mario Kart being one of my favorite series. If I didn't have one though, there's still Metroid Prime, Deltarune Chapter 3 and 4. Eventually Rhythm Heaven grew the following year. I mean, there's no shortage of games. There's been quite a few good ones on Steam recently. Like I'm interested in checking out Skin Deep, but haven't had as much time to play games while trying to finish up Carpoon. Just the way it goes. You find you can't do everything in life. I did play with my friend online the other day, though. That was fun. Playing UFO 50 and Carpoon. Hello, Oscar. Oh, well, yeah, very good. You were able to get a pre-order. Was that at Walmart? My pre-order, unfortunately, is just the base console during the rush. It was more of a backup at the time. GameStop. Yeah, GameStop's a good bet. Like, actually, did you go there in person or was it online? And how did your dinner dance go? In person. Yeah, see, I think in person, considering it doesn't work, like in Japan, there's a lottery and you just apply and you find out. I think that's a lot more relaxing, like rather than trying to get multiple ones. And no, glad to hear it went well. I have to look into a micro SD express card. Oh, you have stress from the program. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. Hopefully it does better. Hello, Jansen. How you doing? And I have an important question for you. Did I forget? I'm doing okay. Is it Jansen or Jansen? Because I was sorry. I was like thinking again with the 3D animator for Game Explained being Jan, but spelled Jan. And I know we went over this. But I'm doing well. I hope you're doing well over there too. Uh, oh, well, Oscar, that's great news that you're getting a job and meeting new people, new friends. And Jansen, were you? Did you have a roller coaster of emotion with Chrono Trigger, like a remake being confirmed then deconfirmed the other day? It makes so much sense. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so I was right. I'm pretty sure we went over this and it's just Jansen. So thank you. No, I was saying about not playing as many games lately, but I do have to make Chrono Trigger the backlog game I get through this year. So yeah, you know what I think? I think there was a bit of smoke beforehand about this, and maybe he just wanted to see the reaction. But I think maybe he thought it was like a smaller event or something, or maybe he did it by accident. I think they're actually working on it, but it won't be the same scale as Final Fantasy VII. That's my guess. Yeah, I think it is happening. Maybe right now they are working on Final Fantasy IX, but it could be Chrono Trigger. So it makes the most sense. Like if you wanted to print money, I guess it's another thing with the pressure, right? Like Final Fantasy VII had a ton of pressure already. A Chrono Trigger, despite maybe less people knowing about it, more pressure. So yeah, it'll happen at some point. We'll see. Yeah, exactly. That was the smoke beforehand. So, but I think with that type of timeline, when is the 30th anniversary? With that sort of timeline, maybe we do see like the HD 2D situation. Yeah, and Oscar, just hope very clear that I wish you the best. A new job. New jobs are kind of also a little bit stressful at first, but just hang in there and see how it goes. And wish you the best with it, and to meet new friends and new people. So, Oscar, I did try the lottery system. Um, and I think that I haven't heard back yet. I couldn't, didn't have the credentials to sign up for it in the Nintendo Japan store. So, yeah, Nintendo Japan store, even though I had the 1 year and stuff, it wasn't in the same region. So I couldn't get that multi-language version. I ordered one for Target, and that was like a backup for Andre. And if Andre gets like multiple Switch 2s, he'll ship that to me. Yeah, March 11th, 1985. Oh, well, I'm very sorry to hear that, Jansen. Yeah, it's hard when it's the last one. But no, yeah, I'm glad that you had wonderful memories with her. But I remember with my last grandparent, it was my dad's dad, Grandpa Bill, and he lasted a lot longer than all the other ones, but he had dementia at the end, so that was very tough. She got you Donkey Kong 64 and GTA San Andreas. Wow, what a grandma! With I remember showing my grandma Arnold. I was like, I got the Quake demo, and then my grandma flipped it over and started reading it, and it was like Quake is like sex or something like that. And she started like having a hearty chuckle, and I think I was like blushing or something. I didn't understand what that was at the time even. And yeah, that was. But she played Duck Hunt. I remember she tried that because he was a marksman in the Commonwealth Games in Canada. But yeah, that was one of my funny grandparents and gaming stories. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. We had over here Yoshiko's birthday, my partner, and fortunately, her closest aunt passed away around there, and her aunt, I think, would have been probably not quite 70 yet, so pretty like younger than Yoshiko's mom, and that was too bad. So dementia didn't hit your grandma till she turned 95. She passed away at 96. Well, that's a really impressive to make it that far to be mentally sharp. My dad, he drove a lady to cards because he plays cards with a bunch of retired people, and I think he started driving her at 101, and she had broken her hip but recovered at that age, and I think she lasted to about 107 or 108. So yeah, we will be all lucky if we stay until 95. I think one of the things is like I've heard learning another language or just probably to keep learning, keep doing stuff. That's the way to keep mentally sharp. That's my guess. Yeah, I think always just keep learning. But Jansen, I was thinking, yeah, it's good you got that Xbox Series X with the price increase. I didn't see such a price increase coming. Remember when we could get consoles and they would go down in price? Oh yeah, Oscar, yeah, there is Game Share now and virtual game cards. I'm interested to see how many people use Game Share to try to encourage people to use virtual game cards. So I think like people are kind of down on it, realizing they have to share locally and can't share online, but we'll see. Okay, so Jet says she read every day, and I think that's why she stayed mentally sharp till she hit the age of 95. Well, that's a good way to do it. Yeah. Don't just watch the TV. Tom, do you remember we could buy NES games for $1 before Angry Video Game Nerd became really popular? I was thinking of doing a video on this. I didn't know like he caused prices to increase, but basically anytime somebody does a video on a game, it's like a loop, right? It becomes more popular, more people know, more people buy them. But when I was a kid, I could go to the local shop and buy used NES games for about $6. And that's what I would do, because maybe my allowance would be like the equivalent of my grade. So if I was in grade 4, I'd have $4 a week allowance, and I could do that for a really long time until about the N64 generation. So I definitely feel for people and understand why some people might just emulate. And also, yeah, the eShop is different. It's now so you can't have a $1 game and sell a ton of copies and reach the top. It's now revenue, which is too bad for smaller indie games. I hope they have different sections for like a $20 indie game, because otherwise it's just going to be like the AAA showing up at the top. Okay. So James Rolfe, I haven't watched in a long time. I like recently I like who shows up here sometimes, my friend Hayden HPR Shredder. He's covering Famicom games. I like his thoughtful content, but I haven't heard of Mike Matai. But yeah, like I'll consider treating myself to gimmick once I finish Carpoon, but that's one I'll never get. I was lucky getting a few like Lickle probably like 8 years ago now, which is Little Samson. And having my NES games as a kid. Oh, he helped James with his videos. So he's like a Tom to Andre. Although I help mostly with thumbnails and graphics. Yeah, yeah. What game? Oh, Oscar and Jansen, what games? No, I typo all the time, especially on my laptop. What games are you guys playing right now? And I'll see if I can. I'll probably do a compile and see if I can get this working. Oscar, Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, good choice. Kind of like the story, not that great, but the replayability uh, is like tons you can do for gameplay in that game. The gameplay, just the options and emergence is pretty amazing. You're playing DK64 on Pikachu and Honor Your Grandmother. And your excitement for DK Bonanza. Oh, well, that's a nice memory way to do it. I I had my friend, he had been given shipped 2 copies of DK64 from Amazon for some reason. And then he gave it to me for a bit, and before I moved, I gave it back to him because I found out an unopened copy of DK64 could be worth like $1,000, um, which is ironic. Is I think Jungle Beat later too will be a great way to kind of like predict what Bonanza will be like. So yeah, you look at it as 7 out of 10, but I understand if people view it as 6 out of 10. I think too it depends how much you want to play it. If you're trying to go through the whole thing quickly, it brings it down, especially from a reviewer's standpoint. Probably looking back now, at the time too, there were so many platformers, and to be like, it was like a platformer where it just pushed collectibles too much at the time, and that because of that, I think people were kind of down on it. That and Banjo Tooie, so that caused platformers to kind of end for a bit. And it was kind of refreshing with Conquer not having as many collectibles. But it happens, right? Like, there's only there's only so much time to work on games, and sometimes it depends on the team and stuff. So, oh yeah, Oscar, the imprisoning war of Tears of the Kingdom. Be interesting to see how much that builds in the story. I probably won't play that though, being a Warriors game, but I'll try to keep my mind open. And Jansen says, I want to play Jungle Beat. He missed out on the GameCube DK games. What other games were there? Just, I'm thinking of the Bongo games, but that's about it. You never beat Banjo Tooie, but when you finally beat it, you're playing the Xbox version. Well, I also haven't beat it because I missed out on it in N64 at the time. I do have the Xbox version, so I should catch up on it at some point. I think the slow frame rate was a deal breaker for me on N64 at the time. If I had 3 games right now, though, that I'm thinking of is Chrono Trigger, getting through that, Blaster Master 1, and maybe Tactical Breach Wizards. That's an indie game. But then after that, similar to Tactical Breach Wizards, being like XCOM, getting through Rabbids. Yeah, Donkey Konga 1, 2, and 3 for GameCube. Yeah, I have 2 of those that I got used years later. They're surprisingly a little rough because they use 2D animation in spots. I still had the most fun in Jungle Beat. Ah, yes, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth and Kingdom Hearts 3 on PS5 Pro. Do you have an OLED TV for that? I finally have a 4K television, but it's not a big one. It's just 42 inch, but I got to see that in Switch 2. I haven't tried many like 120 hertz screens yet, so it'll be interesting to see that on a handheld. Yeah, 73-inch 4K TV that puts at 60 hertz. I've seen like that sort of range of TV that pretty impressive to have something like that. Yeah, 60 hertz. I mean, I think it's fine. You want the OLED 120 hertz model? Yeah, yeah. We can dream. I'll just get the waves timer starting here, and I'll try running it and see what happens. Maybe I'll look for the surfboard code too. Okay, Oblivion Remastered, Expedition 33, and Halo Infinite. How do you find Expedition 33? I heard good things about it, and like Shuhei Yoshida was big on it. Shuhei Yoshida being the former kind of head of Sony Games and then the Sony Indie Games, who I've seen a couple times at events here in Japan. I've still been playing. I've been playing Playdate whenever I'm on the train because it's my smallest console to bring around. Playing a Bennett Foddy game Zipper on that, which is like a samurai tactics game. Fantastic so far. You're 3 hours into it, and combat's a mixture of Persona 5 and Mario RPG. Oh, that's high praise. Nice to hear. Like there's a game recently called Skin Deep. That was made by the people who made Quadrilateral Cowboy, and I think that has a lot of emergent gameplay. That's another. Like I'm torn if I was to pick up one between that and Skin Deep. Oh, here we go. This is easy. Draw pie timer. So apparently, for 33 developers, I was seeing on GameMaker's Toolkit. I think that's not entirely true. Their core team might have been 33, but they might have had some contracting work. I have to look into it more, but I believe it was more than 33. Or 30. Like 33 is kind of a neat number. It's like how Runbow had 9, could have up to like 9 players. And so the whole team is 9 people, and they'd have to just get everyone to stop and play test at the same time. Yeah, it makes sense because that game is gorgeous. Like, there's a model now for games where you can have like there's always pre-production, and you have like a small team, and then when you go to production, like it gets big. That's why you see stuff like Metroid Prime 1 being remastered. And then there's Metroid Prime 4, because you can have the big team there get ready, get practicing on the remaster. And then once the core game is ready to go into production for the sequel, that team can shift over. There's also development studios, like they'll have a small studio of maybe like 30, 40 people, so they can always keep going and not like hire and like people go. And then they'll work with contracting studios to do a lot of more of the bulk of the work when they need them. And these contracting studios can just come in and work on different game projects. So that's like that's kind of like how Nintendo works with Monolith and different studios too for support on Zelda. When you can manually unload a pistol, manually dodge attacks and parry, new in the first 30 minutes is a banger. Oh, awesome. And manage to be a turn-based RPG all at the same time. Yeah. I'm all for games that like put new ideas and old things. And I guess being a French studio, it's not just a Japan studio doing it. I think so. One funny thing that happened during the Mario 3 stream is that Brandon came on. Brandon came in chat, one of my friends, and he started just playing it and played through Mario 3 as well. Thinking after Carpoon, it'd be fun to do like a game club for different games, like Blaster Master, and have everyone play through it. But then I don't know how everyone would talk about it after, but that's an idea I'm considering. Then what would happen if the game's too hard for me to beat? Oh, I'm sorry. I should have tweeted it in advance or something or planned better. I'm not always good at putting on social media. I will I will do another one at one point, and maybe like we can do like if everyone wants to do Blaster Master or something, we could try it and see how far we get. But that's like a newer game for me. Super Mario 3 is different because I've played it so many times. I'd be like uh, Blaster Master, there's unknowns, but I'm definitely thinking of doing one for like Mario 64 if I reach another subscriber goal later. So I'll be sure to do that more in advance. No, but that was fun to get through all of it. Uh, in one sitting for the first time. I saved my P Wings at the end. I was like, I ran out of leaves, so I was just using a P Wing in Bowser's Castle. 'Cause I was just like tired. It's like, I did try the frog suit in Bowser's Castle. That I got about halfway through, I think. Definitely did not get to Bowser with the frog suit. Yeah. Yeah, okay, well, I'll keep that in mind. Yeah. Like, I was thinking, in terms of gameplay and, like, being able to express yourself in gameplay in Mario 64, that is better. I'm only a little bit familiar with Mega Man X. That's your favorite Mega Man, right? I could play through that one again. I was more familiar with the NES Mega Mans since I came to Mega Man X after the Super Nintendo's time had passed. Yeah, there was Berserk Boy, which I believe was very much influenced by Mega Man X and ZX. That came out about a couple of years ago on Steam and other platforms. Um, like that's a love letter to Mega Man X. Your first Mega Man game was Mega Man 7. That one I think I had on PlayStation. I'm trying to think if it was a PlayStation or like a re-release on it, and it did have the taller sprites like Mega Man X, if I recall correctly. Yeah, Super Nintendo. Let me check. Let me check. Mega. I thought I had it in some sort of collection on PlayStation, but I could be wrong on that. Could have been a different one. Yeah, introduction of bass and treble. Oh, that's neat. No, I had the very first Mega Man with a beat up version of the terrible box art, the infamous bad box art, and there was no passcodes on the very first Mega Man, so it was quite a grind to get through that one. I remember I think I figured out the pause button on your like doppelganger Mega Man. Like you press pause and it kind of screws him up and what he can do. Um, but yeah, that was one of the harder Nintendo games I got through. It's fun here in this code. They gotta go out to sea. They can come into land, but they can't kind of go back the other way. So I have to see what happens here. Probably, I think they try to avoid the sea at one point, so I'll get rid of that. Maybe in here. Oh, so okay then. Oscar's saying the Nintendo Switch Online app will turn into the Nintendo Switch app for the release of the Switch 2. Yeah, that makes sense. Be interesting to see how useful it is. Like I remember they did the Zelda kind of news right away, but I haven't seen much news out of the app since then. Uh, so that's kind of interesting to see if they'll keep pushing it more. Jed says, "Oh, Oscar, Zelda's notes will be added. Okay, Zelda's notes will be huge for it. Yeah, it's funny to hear that somebody beat speedrun Breath of the Wild in 7 minutes at a Switch 2 event. Jansen says, I watched a DKC2 speedrun and I find that game difficult yet fulfilling to get 102% completion rate. Yeah, Donkey Kong Country, that series on Super Nintendo was very hard. It's a great co-op game though. Probably one of the best sort of handoff controller because you get to keep going mid-level. Yeah, Donkey Kong Country 2 is kind of the best of the bunch, although I played mostly Donkey Kong Country 1. Okay, let me check. This stuff, is this stuff in the level? Probably not. Let me see. Donkey Kong Country 3 is your favorite. Wow. I guess they would have had more lessons learning on it. That one I still have to play through, admittedly. I played some of it, but not through all of it. Why is Donkey Kong Country 3 your favorite? Oh, and Oscar, yeah, it gets the achievements and Zelda's notes, but it doesn't have the DLC. It's already a pretty big game, but we do get Tears of the Kingdom as well at the same time as a Switch 2 version. I guess I'll take that more than them spending more time on adding the DLC. Okay, so what I want to try to look here is just see the collision area I have in the sea. I think it's probably called OC. And I'll just search for that quickly. Because I'm pretty sure... Okay, OC2. Cars go for that. Or like, they start trying to avoid that. So I'll see. Yeah, yep, yep. Okay, well, you like DKC because it's the most different. I understand the sticker bush levels being tough. Um, I wrote DKC instead of OC. No, that makes sense. I mean, sometimes I like something just because it's different too. Like Majora's Mask, it's different. Uh, Double Dash, it's a different Mario Kart. It's like the most different Mario Kart. Sometimes things kind of blend together. Like that's probably why some people like Zelda Wind Waker. Uh, but Zelda Wind Waker in the initial one, it kind of tailed off a bit, in my opinion. See, DK platforming way too many jungles and it's boring scenery for you now. That's why when Dixie and Katie went to Canada, it was so cool and unique. Yeah. Yeah, do change the scenery. Can be nice. It's a trade-off. Sometimes it's neat revisiting a world and seeing how it changes, but then other times having the characters in a brand new place is the key. Anyway, I'm gonna run this and see what happens. See if the cars go to that surfboard. It's the problem of doing things over a couple of years ago. I have to kind of remember what happens when a car hits the island, how that changes. I believe, I think they're adding a physics shape to themselves. See ya, Jansen. Failed. Oh no. Non-zero status. That sounds bad. I'm kind of getting worried. Once I feel like it's related to Steamworks. But compiling has become more flaky, so that's kind of worrisome. I'll write my notes down. Okay. Oh, this one. It ran for a second and stopped. Fingers crossed. Oh, well, let me. I think in Steam last time I had it with the Steam input. That's a problem if it doesn't run at all when that's there. And I turn that back on. So this is something I'll have to ask or test about with the input plugin. So let's see if doing that fixed it. I'm gonna grab coffee. Maybe that'll help my brain. I'll be here in 1 second. Okay, let's see if that's the key. It's a bit troubling if that's it. Maybe there's a way in Steamworks to get around that. Yeah, but now we'll head off to the island. Oh, and you can see I made the smoke like about half red, depending on the player. So it's kind of colored smoke to see who you are. But let's see if the cars go to that surfboard point after 30 seconds. You can see in that little clock. Can you see it? Let me move it. Yeah, you can see it. It's my stream lagging behind. So that pie chart thing up in the top middle, once that's done, these cars. Oh, well, here we go. Line 186. We'll just copy this. Sometimes I find GameMaker a little bit slow when it puts in 2 sets of brackets. Okay. One thing I might have done too is I might have put some of the code into its parent object. I'll take a quick look. Doesn't look like it in this case. All right. So I think it should work now. We won't assume that though. I want to know what happens when the surfboard... I made it so confusing. There... why... I wish I made this more straightforward. It's probably just like trying to cobble things together until it works. Okay, I think this is only per layer now. It's here. Okay. So when the cars eventually touch that, they make sure they say they're not out to sea. I think my friend wanted it, there's a bit less of a gap. So we can pretty easily adjust this to be slightly bigger. There. Let's see if something happens. Nope. Okay, so we'll just see what happens here if there's something that changes what happens to these guys. Probably I can turn this to false when they hit the surfboard. Okay, so here, this has to be what's happening. I'll check. We'll check on the map. Now I'll check here and see if something is the child object of it. Yeah, OC2 is the child object. So that's what's making it happen. And only 30 more minutes today, but I'll be back later next week after my daily bonus classes are done. Okay, we want this to be false again. I have been finding it setting like a weekly goal to be super helpful. I have harpoon rope cuts back in with the dangling rope. That was something I put off for a long time, and it should make it more obvious in versus mode what's happening. Like, and you can pick up harpoons again, and a harpoon will spawn in all the levels. So that was nice to add back in. Okay, so if the car is fleeing in waves, and they touch this. Oh, Joey! Hello, when is Carpoon Switch 2 edition? That's always the question. But seriously though, I'll see after releasing Carpoon. Like I might, while working on other projects, if I still have the energy, consider porting it for Switch. It is a lot though. It's like $800 for the license to port it, and then so maybe Switch in general, because there's a saying: have your market match your game, and the Steam market's more like crafting, more like horror games. It's not so much. It's not so much like bright and colorful, cartoony games, but I don't know. You can blow up people. No, how are you doing? How's everything going over there with your family and Commonwealth realm? Are you able to sleep at night? Maybe not with excitement for Metroid Prime 4, but no, we're getting super close to finishing Carpoon. Although some of the stuff I was working on recently, nobody noticed in a recent playtest. I'll be trying to do more playtests to put together a trailer soon. You have a good system where you can stay up late with the baby while Crystal goes to sleep earlier. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, I remember you always stayed up pretty late, so that works out. What game are you playing right now, if any? Keep the baby next to you playing games. Yeah, that's the irony. Like I remember some of my friends, Expedition 33 Nice, Jansen was also playing it and had high praise for it. My friends, couple of my friends, when they had kids, they actually played more games at first than they were beforehand. So funny how that works out. And how are you liking Expedition 33? Do you have a Switch 2 pre-order in hand? I'm assuming you want to get one. Wow. Definitely playing more than the first time you dealt with the newborn phase. Oh. Yeah, I guess maybe was that because you're more know what to expect or just have better, more experience? And hello, Tyler. Thank you for dropping by again. Just doing a quick stream today. A bit of a different schedule this week, but probably about only 30 more minutes. But I'm trying to get cars surfing off the island, and I'll be back again with another stream later in the week. But how are you doing? Okay. And you love Expedition 33, which I read as an E3 typo at first. But you like how the game is real-time dodging and parrying. Yeah, that's kind of what Jansen was saying with me, the Super Mario RPG type aspect to dodging and parrying. Second time newborn phase is easier for sure. Yeah, you need that like juggling. You be able to like juggle the baby phase. Have the confidence to do that. I always second guess myself holding other people's kids because one time I was like, there was one time where I was holding my friend's kid and like lifting it up, but then there was like a fan super up high in the ceiling. Then it's like, well, no, be aware of surroundings. It was like a 10-foot ceiling. So the baby was safe, but I second guessed myself. Okay, your Switch 2 is pre-ordered at Walmart with the Pro Controller 2. Nice. I have a Target pre-order right now that Andre will probably ship to me. Didn't get any accessories and stuff yet though. Yes, bless Andre. Yeah. Well, it was like a backup system for him just in case, but I think he's got 2 good pre-orders, so we'll see. And it makes more sense than me trying to deal with the Japanese version of a Switch 2. Have you heard of a show called Indie Cross? No, I haven't. What's Indie Cross? Is it just a YouTube show? It's like indie developers working together? Okay. This is the hard part, trying to match an enemy car to an event here. Where did I put it? I have to find it. Oh, here we go. Maybe, yes, found it. Yeah, I'd have to brush up on Japanese for the Switch 2, so hopefully that's where the English one comes in handy. But I've been taking, there's been free courses at a community center right now for that, which has been nice because the one I was taking out of university was canceled due to lack of enrollment. Oh, it's a show on YouTube about indie characters. Okay, I'll write down Indie Cross. Thank you, Tyler. And Ruffy and Riverside. Yes, I still have to play Ruffy and Riverside. I had the demo on Steam. But so it's coming to basically Switch. Is it Switch 2 only, or is it Switch and Switch 2? But no, I was watching some of that, and I love the energy of it. You have to see that game in motion compared to just screenshots. He's talking, he's working. Switch 1 and Switch 2, yeah. He's... Yeah, talking and working, it only works sometimes. I think it depends. Right now we're kind of chatting about games. Later, if I'm drawing, I think it works pretty well. It's been slow. I think usually what happens is like slow going at first as I figure out what to do, unless I have like a super set plan. And then like the longer I stream, the less people chat. I guess because they get bored. It's like, oh, it's just Tom working, and then or I get more focused in on the on what I have to do. It can be at times, yeah. That's where like if it's a simple thing, but the advantage is if I'm talking and I talk through the problem, you kind of think about it through a different way. Like it's like saying something that you know is wrong, but you're not realizing yet. And then when you say it, how you sound like, oh yeah, that's dumb. Like, or that was a simple thing I could have just figured out. It kind of hits you. I believe it's called rubber ducking. So that is an advantage sometimes. But no, this is just, I wanted to show a bit of Carpoon progress. Had a pretty good play test last week. Ernie from Sesame Street loves rubber ducking. Yeah. Oh yeah. I'll show you something neat. Um, what I got next time. Next time I see you, Joey, you can have one of these Carpoon sticker. Antonio drew one. So I have these. It's not too big. It's like business card size, but I got these to give out at events. Will you make JoJo loves stickers? Yeah, they're fun. Stickers are fun, and I think it's like a good size too. It's not like too big where it's like gonna overwhelm stuff. And Tyler, will you make another game after this? Yes, I'll make another game after this. But I'll definitely think of making some smaller games first and then see what sticks. I have a few ideas at this point. And yeah, he's taking Half-Life 3 after this. Make it a game about the half-life of radioactive isotopes. And there's 3 of them. That can't get copyright infringement at all. And then you're like in a hazard suit. No, but I've considered Carpoon Jr. I've considered like an outdoor ice hockey game, but that's multiplayer. I think that one could do as good. Carpoon Jr. would be on Playdate. And I'm kind of thinking about a game in a cabin right now. Maybe a bit of H.P. Lovecraft. Remove the hyphen from Half-Life. Half-Life 3, yeah. Or Half-Life 3, like 1.5 life. Half-Life 3, the third Half-Life. I don't know. So I have a few ideas, but I'll have to explore and just see what works with people. Probably a single player game, even though I love multiplayer. And I'll be looking forward to the GameMaker's Toolkit Game Jam, I believe at the end of July. Okay, we want to make the toggle true here. Or false. False. The thing is, they're just going to kind of hang around there, but we'll see. You can't wait for GameMaker Garage 2. Well, they could. GameMaker Garage 2, like if they had another, Game Builder. If they had another WarioWare DIY, I would love that. That's also one of the games I want to do. Like, what got me back into making games was WarioWare DIY. And I had a game just where, like, you would hit glasses for cheers. And the idea is, like, you want to go below so you get the extra beer against another person going up and down. So I was making that in Godot. So I will make a small free Godot game out of that. Maybe with a long arm and it leaves the pub and goes out. That's one that does surprisingly, like it keeps getting promoted on YouTube. Okay, let's see if this doesn't crash. I'll have to think of where cars go after this surfboard stand. I'll have to send them. I'll think of like a 2-step process and have them go out to sea. The extra Switch 2 power and mouse controls. It's like a PC. Well, the mouse is a huge thing. And also, if you could game share to a Switch or something and have a touchscreen while I'm working on it, that'd be cool. Like Mario Maker on Switch 1. I mean, on Wii U. Switch 0. Wii U is Switch 0. No, like, there's got to be a Mario Paint at some point. And it's too bad, like with F-Zero X, there wasn't the track builder with that, like the 64DD version. You couldn't stand Mario Maker 2 because of the regular controls. Yeah, it also came too soon. That was part of it. So, see, this is something I added back in, rope cuts. And you get dangling rope again. That was broken, I figured it out. That's one thing that would be hard and very boring to figure out in stream. Yeah, one rare example of a game that works best in Wii U. Yep. So, fingers crossed for that mouse support to do more cool things. I mean, we're getting a Nitro game that's about using the mouse, but we need more creative ones. Maybe they have some stats where they don't do the best, but I'd love to see it again. Okay, let's see when this clock runs out, if they'll head out to sea and the game will crash. Extra game styles. Super Mario 3D World, end of list, yeah. Okay. Will these two cars head to the surfboards? Let's see. Oh. So the surfing ones went to the surfboards and then exploded. Well, this one, it's like the opposite way I wanted to go. I wanted to go from there must be something where if it's parked, it doesn't go. Let's see. Let's see, are you gonna go? Do you have a target point? I'll have to draw back in target points. Oh well. Partially worked at least. I'll be back in just 1 second. Let's get some water. Yeah, Tom drinks water confirmed, yeah. Yeah, not a lot left of Wii U to go in other places, so. Okay, final 10 minutes here. I'll see if I can get cars on the island to go to the surfboards. Joey, I had a thought about Metroid Prime 4, if you're still there. Wouldn't it be cool if it was a bit like Titanfall 2's time travel level and had you revisiting parts of Metroid Prime 1 or other games in the series? Like you see it in current state and you time travel back and you get to play some of those moments. I think that'd be pretty hard to do for a full game, but it'd be cool if it was in like the end of the game or something. Okay, we want... There we go. Don't flee if it has a set time. Okay. Let's see here. It's probably... I think I'm adding it in here, so as long as I set it, it should be okay. Easy way to check this. We'll go here, and I'll have it show its this variable value when it's going. Oh man, come on, GameMaker. You can do it. Wow. Oh, you wait for 5 minutes to actually process stream. Joey, did you hear my idea for Metroid Prime 4? If there's time travel, I thought it'd be really cool if it's like Titanfall 2's level, but you could be revisiting places from like Metroid Prime 1 in it. Yeah, so I thought that would be really cool if they do that maybe towards the end of the game. I couldn't see them doing that for a full game. It'd be too tough. But if they had time travel at the end, revisit some of the places from the trilogy. Yeah. Yeah, wall running. Well, that was the other thing. Wall running kind of is in Mario Kart. There could be Titanfall 2 influences everywhere. Wall running could be a power up. Like he's have like a. It could be something you earn over time. Yeah, Titanfall 2 influence life as we know it. Yeah. Wow, this is weird. I'm running out of memory, or my computer's doing something here. Yeah. Well, EA, didn't they let go more people at Respawn? I don't understand how you let people go at one of your most successful studios. Yeah. Yeah, it kind of makes no sense. Oh, I didn't hear about triple jump, but no, the stuff at Polygon and Giant Bomb is weird. It's like just sold, and then the owner is not wanting to do anything about it. Okay. Yeah, Polygon was one I actually went to and read at times, and Giant Bomb. That's why Jeff Grubb always had his game mess going. So it's like anyone in the industry has to have their own side hustle going on always. And I do wish you good luck over there too. To hopefully find more work. You're struggling to figure out your next video idea. What? Well, what do you want to do? Do you want to do one? You talking about for your own channel or for Commonwealth Realm? Might rank every year. Yeah, that'd be good. Yeah. Yeah, if that's what's talking to you, or like if it was like games you could get for Switch 1 on a budget, or like tired of Switch 2 prices. There's a lot of good gaming on Switch 1 right now, and then here's like my top games every year. Yeah, I do think everyone does love the unknown about Switch 2. Like I'd assume you've done something like here's everything about how Metroid Prime 4 will be different on Switch 2 than Switch 1. Yeah, it's just crazy how well Switch 2 does, and ranking the right ranking the Switch 2 years, yeah. Yeah, people kind of just like videos where someone complains about the price for a while. And then they all buy it anyway. Yeah, I guess you just have to say about what speaks to you. Because like there was a virtual game card stuff recently in the update. Playing Expedition 33. No, I think like a retrospective looking back at the different years would be fine. Wow, Half-Life 3 came out and switched to the same year as Splinter Cell Quadruple Agent. It is always tough to like if it's not just quick news, you have to like find some deeper topic to make a video on. Okay. Oh, these guys have a fleet time of 30 and these guys have a fleet time of 1. All right, I think I'll figure that out. Yeah, you're not recording Expedition 33 footage, so video on that is out of the question till inevitable Switch 2 port. Yeah, there'll be a lot of ports. Oh, but it's nice talking to you, Joey. Sure, I'll talk to you again later soon. I gotta stop now for lunch, and we'll be going out today during Golden Week. But no, wishing you the best over there, and I'll be sure to watch your video when you do decide on it. I think there's a lot you can do too. But no, I think you're on the right track with like looking over each year of Switch and maybe talking about the future. But no, see you later. And yeah, you do one video, I'd say, quickly on Switch 2 stuff, and one longer retrospective Switch 1 video, and see which does better. Or the Switch 2 one will help boost the Switch 1 video. Okay, well, take care, everyone. Have a great weekend over there, and good luck with your goals. Goodbye.